Good evening, students. Welcome back to Sankalp Learning Classes. I hope all are enjoyed your holidays and again you are refreshed and joined to the class. Okay, so today I'm going to start the chapter that is from the second semester chapter. How do organisms reproduce? That belongs to the biology section. Okay. Yes, I hope all are ready to listen the class. So, dear students, my one request is please join daily. Okay. So, or you can see the YouTube video also. Okay. So, if you join live class, you can ask the doubts, or you can, if you have any other questions, you can solve in the class only. Otherwise, if you watch the YouTube videos, so it will get start boring after few minutes, alva. So daily join agi, ಒಂದಿನ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗೋದು if possible. Okay, I'm not forcing you. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮನೇಲಿ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಥರ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಡೈಲಿ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿ. ಒಂದಿನ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕಿಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಾಚ್ ದ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ದ ಲೈವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, because you can ask the doubts, and if you have any questions we can solve here. So for these all reasons, please join daily. Okay. Okay, let us start the chapter. How do organisms reproduce? So my first question is, what is reproduction? I hope you know this word. What is reproduction? Right. Reproduction. What do you mean by reproduction? Anybody? If you know the answer, you can say. Reproduction. What is the meaning of reproduction? So it is nothing but it is the process of formation of new individuals, new offsprings, right? It is the process of, just I will write the code word. It is the process of formation of the new organisms, right? New organisms. It is nothing but it is the process of the production of the new organisms. It is called as a reproduction. What is the use of the reproduction? So if the organism is reproducing, just imagine if any organism is reproducing. Okay. So that reproduction is not necessary for life, like respiration or nutrition, like that. It is not necessary for the living organisms, right? So ನಾನೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, for any organism, this reproduction is not essential, right? Reproduction essential ಇದೆಯಾ? ಈಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಲೀವ್, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬದುಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬದುಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ reproduction? ಸೊ reproduction ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಫ್ ಎನಿ organism is not reproducing. Just imagine if any organism is not reproducing, is it die? Is it will die? ಸತ್ತೋಗುತ್ತಾ ಅದು? Anybody, please tell me the answer.
No,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No. Yeah. So it is not essential for the living, right? But why should the living organisms reproduce? For the reproduction, lot of energy is used, right? But why it is essential for the living organism? Just think about it. Why it is essential for the living organism?
Continuation of species.
Yes, very good. It is essential for the continuation of the species. Okay, just imagine a group of deers. Okay, just imagine in a particular environment there are group of deers are there, but so they are not reproducing. Okay, so after some time what happens? they will extinct after few years later, they will extinct. So there is no D's present in that environment, right? So for that reason, for the continuation of the species, to increase their number, this reproduction is essential. Okay, so got my point. So first thing is reproduction. It is the process by which living organisms produce the new individuals, that is called as a reproduction. So that is, they produce the new individuals, but they are of the same species ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರೋ ತರ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ನಾಟ್ ಅದರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಡೀರ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಡೀರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸೊ ದೇ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂ individual that is similar to deers. And reproduction is necessary. So this is important. Reproduction is necessary for the living organisms because it ensures the continuity of the species. Means it prevents them from the extinct. Extinct andre ಏನಾಗೋದು, what you call they will not remain in that environment. ಏನಾಗೋದು, ನೀವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಣ್ಮರೆಯಾಗೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ದೇ ಇರೋ ಹಂಗಾಗೋದು, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ರೀಸನ್ reproduction is very important. Okay, so if you take the reproduction, do the organisms create the carbon copies of themselves? Just read the topic. Do the organisms create carbon copies of themselves? The organisms, yes, many, all the organisms, living organisms, they reproduce. But are they carbon copies? What do you mean by carbon copies? Carbon copy andre ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? Do you know the carbon copy meaning? Means exactly similar to the parent organism. Is it like that? All the organisms, just take the example of human beings. So are they similar, exactly copy of their parent organisms?
No, ma'am.
No, right? So why this variation occur? So that is called as a variation. They are similar in few characters, right? So they have the similar body structure. Humans, they give birth to the new individuals. They have the same body structure, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನ್ಯೂ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎರಡು ಕೈ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎರಡು ಕಾಲು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ and few characters are same, but not exactly copy of the parent organisms. Okay, but why this occurs? Okay, let us study why this occurs. That is called as a variation. Means that changes occurs in between the parents and the offsprings, that is called as a variation. Okay, so you know that DNA molecules, so they are present in the chromosomes. DNA, what do you mean by the full, what is the full form of the DNA? Anybody, what is the full form of the DNA? Deoxyribonucleic acid. I hope you know the answer. Deoxyribonucleic acid. So this DNA, this is nothing but the DNA. Okay. So this DNA is present in the chromosomes. This is nothing but the chromosomes. Where these chromosomes are present? These chromosomes are present inside the nucleus of the cell. Right. So that we have studied in the 9th standard. So in 9th standard, we have studied a cell and its constituents. So in that, we have studied about the cell. So inside the cell, nucleus will be there. Inside the nucleus, so there is a genetic material carrying thing, that is the chromosome, right? So these chromosomes, they contain the DNA. So this DNA is responsible for the transfer of the characters from parents to the offsprings, right? This you know. DNA, what is the function of the DNA? You know that they are carrying the, they are responsible for the transfer of the characters from parents to the offsprings, right? ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ನೀವು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ಸಿಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಡಿಆಕ್ಸಿ ರೈಬೋ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್. ವೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ This is the DNA which is present inside the chromosome. Chromosomes are present in the nucleus. Alva? So this DNA is the information source for the making proteins. So this DNA that have the information, so that you will study in the PUC. Okay. So just imagine they have the some codes for the proteins. Okay. So they are able to synthesis the proteins. Okay. If the information is changes, different proteins will be made. It leads to the change in the body designs. Just imagine, so this is the type of the DNA. Okay. So this is the DNA. It has the information like this. Okay. So these are the DNA information. ಈ ತರ ಇದೆ DNA. So this is able to produce one protein. ಈ DNA ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. That protein is responsible for the characters. Okay. So that any characters. Okay. So for example, hair, black hair, that is because of the protein which is present in the DNA. ನಮ್ಗೆ black hair ಇದೆ. Okay. So that is because of the protein produced by this DNA. Okay na? But if any changes occur in the DNA, ಈ DNA ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ changes ಆದ್ರೆ, okay, so if any changes occur in this DNA, that DNA produces the different protein. So that is related to the hair. Okay, I'm talking about the related to the hair. So that is producing the different protein, and that protein is producing the different color of the hair. Okay, so one example tagondirodu. So like that, if the changes occurs in the DNA, they produce the different proteins, and that leads to the change in the body designs. Okay. So ಯಾಕೆ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ಸಿಗೆ they are not exact carbon copies, that is because of this reason. Okay. So because the DNA changes in the DNA occurs, so because of that there is a change in the body designs. Okay. So that is the first point. If you have any doubts, you can raise the question. Here, during the reproduction, all the reproducing cells creates the two. Why this? Just imagine why this changes in the DNA occurs. Okay, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನ್ಸ್ಬಹುದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ PUC ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so ಈಗ DNA ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ? So during the reproduction ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ inside the nucleus, what happens? Chromosomes are there. Inside the chromosome, this DNA is there. So this DNA that makes the exact copy of another DNA. It makes the one more copy of its that is present in the cell. Okay. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾಪಿಯನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So during the reproduction, two cells are formed, two reproductive cells are formed, and each carries the same DNA. But during the copying process, DNA ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ತನ್ನ ತರದೇ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾಪಿಯನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದ reproduction. But during the copying process, so some variation is created. Copy ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. As a result, DNA copies will be similar but not identical to the original. So similar ಇರುತ್ತೆ, almost same ಇರುತ್ತೆ, but not a carbon copies. Okay, so that is the point. Then what is the importance of variation? So what is variation? That changes that occurs. So that is called as a variation. For example, consistent DNA copying maintains the body design. Okay. So same DNA, parental iro DNA na exact copy. So if it is transferred to the offspring, that maintains the same body design. But it is useful for the organism to use the particular niche. Okay. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, there are some bacteria. Okay. So this bacteria, they are producing the new offsprings, but these bacteria, they are living in the water. Okay. So just imagine ಒಂದಷ್ಟು bacteria ಇದೆ, they are living in the water, and exactly same copies are formed in the new individual bacteria. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಹೊಸ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಆದ್ರೆ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ತರದ್ದೇ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಹೊಸ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಕಾಪಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್. But if any changes occur in the environment, so if the water level is less or there is a scarcity of water, then these bacteria, they are not able to survive because all are suitable for the that water condition. But during the reproduction, if it happens, ಈಗ reproduction ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಇದೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟು ದ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್. ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಗಿಂತ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್, ಆ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಅದು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗಾಗಿದೆ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಕಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ DNA. ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ತರಾನೇ ಇದೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟು ದ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ, ಬಟ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಇನ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಲೀವ್ ಇನ್ ದ some in the condition where the scarcity of water is there. Okay, so this leads to what happens when the water level is less. All the bacteria will wash out. ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ವಾಶ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ಇಫ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್, ವಾಶ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
ಆಗತ್ತಾ ಅಥವಾ ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗತ್ತಾ?
Uh, Less possibilities, ma'am.
ಲೆಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆಯಾ? ನೋ, ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ DNA ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದೇನಾಗಿದೆ, ವಾಟರ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗೋ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ವಾಟರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ವಾಟರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ದೀಸ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಸರ್ವೈವ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಯ್ತು? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ದಟ್ ಆಕರ್ ಇನ್ ದ DNA. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? DNA ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ದಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಇಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಸರ್ವೈವ್. ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತಾ?
No,
ಚೇಂಜ್
ma'am.
No. So for that reason, the variation is important. Okay. So if a niche drastically altered, niche means the particular environment, drastically altered, the population not able to survive in that niche, that will wiped out. Individuals having the variations may be survived. So ಇದಂನ ಈ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ?
No,
Repeat
ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So if you have anybody, okay, so if you want to repeat the topic or if you want to listen once again, you can tell. Okay. Yes. So that is the importance of the variation. So it may be asked in the question, what is the importance of the variation? Why variation is needed? Why variation is needed? What is the importance of the variation? Okay. And then, so next topic is,
Ma'am, could you please explain what niches, ma'am? Niches.
niche means.
Yes, ma'am.
So it is the particular environment. So in that environment, the organisms, they are adjusted. Okay. Niche means the particular environment. Just in this condition, what we can take here. So that is the environmental condition. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So here, modes of reproduction in the single organism. So here, mainly there are two types of the reproduction methods. You know that sexual reproduction and the asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction means, you know that, so this will be the 1 mark question. What is sexual reproduction? What is asexual reproduction? So here in the sexual production, two parents are involved to contribute the genetic information to produce the offsprings. Okay, just think about it. In the sexual reproduction, two parents involved to produce the new organisms. So in asexual reproduction, single organism is able to produce the new organism. Here in the sexual reproduction ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, parent ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, parent organisms will be there. They produce the gametes. Okay, what is gametes? That I will explain. So by using the two parental organism, new organism will be formed. That is called as a sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means single organism will be there. There is no two organism, two parental organism. Single parent will be there, and that is able to give birth to the new individual organisms. Okay, that is the difference between the asexual and the sexual reproduction. So you can observe the asexual reproduction in the lower organisms, mainly in the lower grade organisms. Sexual reproduction in the higher grade organisms like mammals and birds, so reptiles. So in these all organisms, you can observe the sexual reproduction. Okay. So here, next we are going to study about the types of the asexual reproduction. What you mean by asexual reproduction?
New individual by single organisms.
Yes, new individuals are formed by the single organism. Yes. So here we are discussing about the fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, vegetative propagation, and spore formation in detail. Okay. So in the first uh, part, we are discussing about the asexual, different types of the asexual reproduction. That is fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, vegetative propagation, and spore formation in detail, one by one. Okay. So let us start with the first type of the asexual reproduction, that is the fission. So what is fission? So fission, that is nothing but the dividing of these. That is nothing but the cell division. Okay. So that you can observe in unicellular organism or some other organisms also. Here, so it is a type of the cell division. So in the cell division, what happens? There is a single cell and it will divide and form the two new cells, right? So that is nothing but the fission. But in the fission, there are two main types, binary fission and multiple fission, very important. What are the two type of the fissions? That is binary fission and the multiple fission. This fission you can observe in bacteria, protozoa. Okay, mainly you can observe this type of the asexual reproduction in bacteria and protozoa. Okay. And types. What are the types of the fission? That is binary fission and the multiple fission. So what you mean by binary fission? Binary fission that you can observe in the amoeba. Okay. Here, parent cell divides into two daughter cells. Okay. In the binary fission, here just observe the diagram. Just observe this diagram. In the binary fission, what you can observe? The parent organism that will divide into two new organism. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, you can observe the binary fission in amoeba. ಅಮೀಬಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತರ binary fission ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? Single amoeba ಇದೆ. Okay, so this is the single amoeba and it will divide and form the two new amoebas here. These are the new daughter amoebas. Okay, by the single amoeba. So this is nothing but a division, type of a cell division, that is a that you can observe in the amoeba. Okay, and that is called as a binary fission. In the binary fission in leishmania, just a minute. In leishmania, what you can, this is just observe the structure. Idra structure ಹೇಗಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. This is the leishmania. In this organism also binary fission occurs. Binary fission, but ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. Here one more point you should know. In amoeba, binary fission takes place in any plane. Okay, just imagine ಇದೊಂದು amoeba ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ binary fission ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಹುದು, ಹೀಗೆ ಕಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಈ ತರ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಹುದು, ಬೈನರಿ ಫಿಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ in some unicellular organisms have the complex body organization. Example, leishmania, very important. Leishmania. So they have the complex body structure than the amoeba. You know that amoeba is very simple, unicellular, and which is not having any perfect shape. Right. So in amoeba, parent cell divide in any plane. So hego parent cell divide aki ಎರಡು cell ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Okay. So this is not true in other organisms. So other organisms like Leishmania. So it is having the whip-like structure. ನೋಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ structure ಈ ತರ ಇತ್ತು ಅಲ್ವಾ? So it is having the whip-like structure, and here binary fission occurs in relation to the structure. Means from the particular direction the fission will start. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ fission ಯಾವ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? So from here. First there is a single nucleus ಅಲ್ವಾ? Single cell organism, and first the nucleus will divide and form the two nucleus. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಎರಡಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ there is a binary fission. So that will start with in this direction. So particular direction ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? So the cytoplasm is dividing ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನೋಡಿ ಯಾವ ತರ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So in Leishmania the binary ವಿಷನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಮೀಬಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ಅಮೀಬಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಎರಡು ಆಗಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ there is a division of the cytoplasm in any plane. But here, but in Leishmania the binary fission that start with a particular direction. Okay, so that depends on the structure. In any other organisms it is different. So ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಬೇರೆ direction ಅಲ್ಲಿ start ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, but there will be a particular direction. Okay, so that is about the binary fission. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದೇನು? What is fission? What is fission? Types of fission note ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 1 mark 2 mark question, these all are. And example for the fission: bacteria and protozoa, especially binary fission you can observe in the amoeba and the Leishmania. And what is binary fission? How it occurs in amoeba and how it occurs in the Leishmania. So these all points are very important. Then second type of the fission, that is the multiple fission. Multiple means, you know, that means many, right? Here the single celled organism divide into many daughter cells. Example plasmodium, very important, plasmodium. Multiple fission, note down this point. Many times this question is asked in the 1 mark or MCQ question as a, okay. Here just observe it. This is the plasmodium. Inside the plasmodium you can observe many daughter cells are formed. So these all are, so they are the daughter cells formed inside the plasmodium, and it will form more than 2 daughter cells from the multiple fission. ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೋಡಿಯಂ ಇದೆ, ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ 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 ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಫಿಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. So it is forming many daughter cells, not 2 or 4 daughter cells. Many daughter cells are formed here. Example plasmodium. Okay, any doubts? Another doubt ಇದೆಯಾ fission ಅಲ್ಲಿ?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the first type of the asexual reproduction. Then second type of the asexual reproduction, that is the fragmentation. Okay, so what do you mean by fragmentation? Fragmentation means if the organism simply breaks up into smaller pieces. Okay, so just imagine this is the spirogyra. Okay, so what you are observing here, this is the spirogyra. Okay, so this spirogyra, so that will break into, simply it will break into 2 pieces like this or 3 pieces. So these each pieces, that is called as a fragments. So these each fragments, they will develop into new spirogyra. Okay, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಇದೊಂದು ಸ್ಪೈರೋಗೈರಾ, ಇದೇನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಾಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಫ್ರಾಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಪೀಸ್ ಈ ತರ ಪೀಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಚ್ ಫ್ರಾಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್, here I will call it as a fragment. Okay, so this each fragment that will develop into a new spirogyra, new organism. So that is nothing but the fragmentation. But all the this is the multicellular organism. Okay, but all the multicellular organisms cannot simply divide cell by cell, because the cell organized into tissues, organs. Here different cells perform the different functions. Just imagine this pyrogyra is the multicellular organism, but all the multicellular organism perform this type of the reproduction, fragment. No, because multicellular organisms, they have the tissues, organ system ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. But it is, this spirogyra is very lower grade simple organism. Okay, so simple multicellular organisms, so we can observe fragmentation in spirogyra. Example, remember what is fragmentation? In this, organism simply breaks up into smaller pieces, so that is called as a fragments, and they grow into new individuals. So this is the definition of the fragmentation, very important. Why all the, this is a multicellular organism, this pyrogyra is the multicellular organism, but why not all the multicellular organisms not able to do this type of the reproduction? ಎಲ್ಲ multicellular organisms ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ fragmentation ಕಾಣಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ? That is because of the, this pyrogyra is the simple organism, simple multicellular organism, but in the higher multicellular organisms, you can observe the tissues, organ system, everything. So these all are performing the particular function in the multicellular organism. So we can't observe that in the all the multicellular organism. Okay, so I hope clear what is fragmentation. Fragmentation andre clear aita here? What you should learn, what is fragmentation? Example, spirogyra. Remember the example, spirogyra. And one more thing, why all multicellular organisms cannot simply perform this fragmentation? My question is, give reason why multicellular organisms, all multicellular organisms perform this fragmentation type of the reproduction. Okay, so answer is also here. So I hope you got the answer. This is the second type of the reproduction. Next type is, so already we have studied fission and fragmentation. Third type of the asexual reproduction, that is the regeneration. So in these all, you should, very important, you should remember the example. Okay, so example ಮೇಲೆ MCQ ನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸಲ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. and what is that regeneration, or what is fragmentation, what is binary fission, types of the fission. So these all are very important. Okay, repeatedly I'm telling that, please note down that. What is regeneration? Regeneration. Re means again, repeatedly, right? So here, many fully differentiated organisms have ability to give rise to new individuals or new organisms from their body parts. Just imagine, this is the planaria. So this organism is called as a planaria. Okay. So this planaria, just imagine, this planaria is cut into 3 parts. ಈ ಪ್ಲನೇರಿಯಾನ ಈ ತರ 3 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಈಚ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ ಇನ್ ಟು ನ್ಯೂ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್. ಹಿಯರ್ the planaria in the first picture, this is the planaria. Okay, here this planaria body is cut into 3 parts, right? Have you observing this?
Yes,
Observe
ma'am.
okay, then this planaria, each body part, that separate body part, that is growing into a new planaria. See here, from the 3 cut parts, 3 planaria is generating. Okay, so here the individuals is somehow cut or broken up into many pieces. So if any by accident, okay, by accident this planaria is divided into two parts, then the two parts also develop into a new organism. So here what we can say, many of these pieces grow into separate individuals. This is known as a regeneration. I hope you got the answer. Example here, Hydra and Planaria. So remember this example, Planaria, how regeneration occurs in Planaria. Okay. So regeneration means the each body part that is able to, Planaria is a organism. Okay. It is a type of the organism. Planaria andre, that is the type of the organism. Okay. Humans andre enu? Alva? So they are organisms. And reptiles andre enu? Or what is crocodile? What is frog? So this planaria also type of the organism. ಇದು ಹೊಸ ತರ ಅನ್ಸ್ಬಹುದು. ಪ್ಲನೇರಿಯಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್. ಪ್ಲನೇರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ reproduction ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. This type of the asexual reproduction we can observe in planaria. Remember the examples. And here regeneration is carried out by the specialized cells. These cells proliferate. Proliferate means divide and form the large number of cells. From this mass of cells, different cells undergo changes and become various cell types and tissues. So, ಈ ತರ organisms ಅಲ್ಲಿ they have the specialized cells. So these cells, they are able to give, they will undergo the cell division and they will give rise to the different types of the cells. So that is that types of the cells present in this organism that will help for the regeneration process. And regeneration is not same as the reproduction, since most organisms would not normally depend on being cut up to be able to reproduce. Okay, so this regeneration ಅನ್ನೋದು, it is not same as the reproduction, because ಏನಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ದೇ ವುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆನ್ ಬೀಂಗ್ ಕಟ್ ಅಪ್. ಅದು ಕಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನ್ಯೂ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ರೀಜನರೇಷನ್. ಅದು ಕಟ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಹೊಸ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ, ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಟೈಪ್. ಸೊ ಕಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅ ನ್ಯೂ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ regeneration. Then next type of the difference between the regeneration and the, okay, somebody is asked one question. Okay, let me clarify that. Okay, so what is the difference between the fragmentation and the regeneration, alva? So if any body parts, just observe here, ಪ್ಲನೇರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, if it cut into many parts, so ಯಾವ ತರ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, so that will generate into a new organism. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 pieces ಇದೆ, ಇದೇ ತರ, so it looks similar to the fragmentation ಅಲ್ವಾ? But if how many pieces you will make, that many pieces will generate into a new individual. But in case of the fragments, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ತರ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ರಾಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡೋ ತರ ಈ ತರ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಫ್ರಾಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. ಈ ಸ್ಪೈರೋಗೈರ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಈ ತರ ಫ್ರಾಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. But regeneration, it is not a it is not considered as a this planaria will reproduce through this always. No, if accidentally it cuts, so that will develop into a new individual. That is a regeneration. Okay, then budding. So here you can say what is budding. Okay. Budding that you can observe mainly in Hydra and East ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೈಡ್ರಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೈಡ್ರಾ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಎ ಹೈಡ್ರಾ. ಸೊ ಹೈಡ್ರಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಹಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಔಟ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್ and observe here, small outgrowth is developing on the parent body and it will develop fully on the parent body ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, almost it is developed. After developing it will detach from the parent body and this will grow into a new individual. This part that is grow into a new individual. Here also in the budding, small bud is formed here. Eastal nodi ಈ ತರ small outgrowth formation ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, that is called as a bud and it will develop by the parent. So it is also having the nucleus or some other structure, cell organelles are there. And when it completely develops, it will detach from the parent body. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, parent body ಇಂದ separate ಆಗಿ new individual ಆಗಿ ಅದು develop ಆಗತ್ತೆ. That is nothing but a budding mainly observed in Hydra and Yeast. Budding. Okay. So what is budding then? Here, a bud develops as an outgrowth due to the repeated cell division. So, ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, the bud is growing on the parent body. ಈ ತರ bud grow ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, that is because of the cell division. And buds develop into tiny individual and when fully mature, detach from the parent body. So, ಯಾವಾಗ ಮೆಚೂರ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿಯಿಂದ ಡಿಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ and develop into a new individual observed in Hydra and Yeast. So observe these all types of the reproduction. Here only single parent is involved alva. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು parent ಇದೆಯಾ, single parent ಇದೆಯಾ? Single parent or many parents? Two parents?
No,
Single
ma'am.
single parent, right? So
Yes.
so it is called as a asexual type of the reproduction. Then vegetative propagation. This vegetative propagation that we can observe in mainly plants. So parts of the plants, they are used to develop into a new plant. Okay. So it may be a stem or it may be a root or it may be a leaves. Any part of the plant that is used to develop into a new plant without using the seeds. ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡದೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್, ಥ್ರೂ ದ ರೂಟ್ಸ್, ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಹೊಸ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುವಂತ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲೇ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ರೋಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಸೊ is it able to produce the seeds? Through the seeds it will propagate. Seeds production ಆಗತ್ತಾ ರೋಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ?
No, ma'am.
Then in banana plant?
No, ma'am.
No. Then sugar cane?
No, ma'am.
Then in many type of the plants you can observe like hibiscus. So these all are many are there. So ನೀವು just ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ನೋಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ನೋಡಿ, just you can observe the many types of the plants. They are not able to produce the seeds, but they can propagate through the different body parts, right? So here this vegetative propagation used for the used in layering or grafting two plants like sugarcane, roses, grapes and agriculture purpose. So here grafting ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬಹುದು. Grafting ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so you can take the two parts of the plants. For example, so ಒಂದು ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ರೋಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ rose that is able to produce the red color flowers, and one more stem I will take, stem of the another rose rose plant that is able to produce some other colors. Okay, so I will put the some chemicals. After that I will graft here. Graft ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಎರಡು ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್, ಎರಡು ರೋಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಅದರ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ಗ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಗ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅ ನ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅ ನ್ಯೂ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಅ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ here. So this vegetative propagation is used in layering or grafting to grow into a new plants like sugar cane, roses, grapes. So ಇದನ್ನ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, so they are growing through the vegetative propagation. And so this method is, what is the use of this vegetative propagation? That is one question. What is the use of the vegetative propagation? So this will be helpful for the propagation of the plants such as banana, orange, rose, jasmine. So which lost the capacity of the produce the seeds. So seed production capacity loss agiro plants alli vegetative propagation is very useful, like jasmine, rose, orange, banana. So many are there. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ example ಇಷ್ಟಿದೆ, but ನಿಮ್ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ many plants ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬಹುದು. So which lost the capacity of the production of the seeds, they propagate through the vegetative propagation. Then one more advantage is the plants produced are genetically similar enough to the parent plant to have all its characteristics. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ರೋಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಓಕೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೋಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಅನದರ್ ಪಾಟ್. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಿಮ್ ಮನೇಲೆಲ್ಲ ಡೈಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯೂಸ್ವಲಿ ಗಾರ್ಡನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ that new plant is genetically similar to the parent plant, so which is very similar to the parent plant. Okay, which is having the all the characteristics of the parent plant. ಈ parent plant ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ರೆಡ್ ರೋಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್. Okay, so genetically similar enough to the parent plant to have all its characters. So that is the use of the vegetative production. Question keltare, so what is the use of the vegetative production? What is the importance of the vegetative production? You should write both. So that is able to produce the new individuals with the similar genetically similar plants, and that will be helpful for the production of new individuals by the stem, roots and leaves. So the plants which lost the capacity of the production of the seeds. So this is the very important point. Then you can observe many plants, so that is reproduced through the different structures, right? So here potato tubers that you can observe. So this is nothing but a potato tuber, and here you can observe the buds which are developing on the potato. ನೀವು ಮನೇಲಿ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಟೋನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದಿನ ತಂದಿಟ್ರೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದಿನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡದೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗೆ ತಂದಿಟ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಬಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡಿ ನ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೀಸ್ ಬಡ್ಸ್. ಈ ಬಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಹೊಸ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಗ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಈ ತರ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವೆಜಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ರಯೋಫಿಲಮ್ ಲೀಫ್ ನೋಡಿದೀರಾ, ಬ್ರಯೋಫಿಲಮ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಅನ್ನ have you observed the I think it is available in different areas. Bryophyllum leaf ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ?
Yes, ma'am.
ಓಕೆ, ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀರಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಊರಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀರಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ?
No, ma'am.
ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ನೋಡಿದೀರಾ? ವೈಷ್ಣವಿ
Yes,
ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ma'am. Yes,
ಓಕೆ,
ma'am.
Okay, find out the name what you call in your area. Okay, in your region. What is the local name of that leaf or plant? Okay, so ಇದು ಈ ತರ ಇರತ್ತೆ. ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಬುಕ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹಾಕಿಟ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನದ ನಂತರ ಈ ತರ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬೇರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಈ ತರದ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ? ಈ ಲೀಫ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಹೀಗೆ ಹಾಕಿಟ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬುಕ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಈ ತರ ಬೇರ್ ಬಂದಿರತ್ತೆ, ನೋಡಿದೀರಾ? ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಈ ತರದ್ದನ್ನ?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, try to find out this type of leaves. Ask your parents, okay? So they will know definitely. So the leaf will be like this. ಈ ತರ ಇರತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ, ಬುಕ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹಾಕಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಆ ತರ ಲೀಫ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿ. ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಬ್ರಯೋಫಿಲಮ್ ಲೀಫ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ನೇಟಿವ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇನ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ನೇಮ್, ಬಟ್ in English it is called as a bryophyllum leaf. And this each notches they produce the, so here in the leaf margin you can observe the buds like this. Okay, small buds, they are with roots like this. So ಈ ತರ ಇದನ್ನ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಜಿನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. And if you put this leaf in the soil, so that will develop into a new plant. Okay, so that is by the ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಷನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಲೀಫ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಈ ಲೀಫ್ ಅನ್ನ ಈ ತರ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು, ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಲೀಫ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅ ನ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಷನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ವಾಟ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್. And some plants, many plants, not only some plants, many plants, they will propagate through the stem cuttings ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಮನಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಪೋಗೇಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್. ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೊಪೋಗೇಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಪ್ರೊಪೋಗೇಟ್ ಆಗುವಂತ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅದರ್ ದೆನ್ ರೋಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಕೇನ್? ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಎನಿಬಡಿ?
Hibiscus, ma'am.
Okay, hibiscus, yes. Okay, find out this type of the plants, okay, which is able to propagate through the stem and which is able to propagate through the roots. Do you know some plants which propagate through the roots? Roots through propagate ಆಗೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? So find out the plants which propagate through the root. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ರೂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ತರದ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ?
Rose.
ರೋಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅ ನ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ದಿ ಮೋರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಇನ್ that you can observe in your surrounding. ನಿಮ್ ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ತುಂಬಾ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ರೇರ್. ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಇಂದ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಷನ್ ಆಗುವಂತದ್ದು, ಲೀಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ರೇರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಲೀಫ್ ಇಂದ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಷನ್ ಆಗೋದು ರೇರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೆನಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೇನೆ ಯಾರೆಷ್ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರನ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಚ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಆರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಕ್ ಟು ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ. ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕಿರೋ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು, ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರಿನ ಥ್ರೂ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಟ್ ಆಗುವಂತ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ just talk to with your parents. They know many plants. Okay, so yeah, so last type of the reproduction, that is the spore formation. Okay, so this topic yeah, yes.
Ma'am, in bryophyllum, is budding occurs when that leaf removed from that plant.
Yeah, that leaf is removed from the when it falls. So commonly when it falls, that form a new plant. Okay, commonly that is propagation through the leaf. Leaf ಅಲ್ಲಿ leaf ಇಂದ ಹೊಸ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಹುಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that is by the leaf. Okay. So last type of the asexual reproduction, that is the spore production, that we will discuss in the next class. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. Doubt idea?
Ma'am, Hydra is also example for regeneration, ma'am.
Yeah. Why it is commonly the type of reproduction hydra is the budding. Okay. But here we have taken here hydra is regeneration. If any part of the hydra is cut into two parts, okay. ಹೈಡ್ರಾನ ಈಗ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಈ ತರ ಎರಡ್ ತರ ಆಗಿ ಅದು by accident it is divided into two. So that is also develop into a two new organism. Okay, regeneration. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ, ರೀಜನರೇಷನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಮೋಡ್ ಆಫ್ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಈ ಪ್ಲನೇರಿಯಾ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ರೀಜನರೇಷನ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. ಅದು ರೀಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್, ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅ ಟೂ ನ್ಯೂ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅ ನ್ಯೂ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಹೈಡ್ರಾದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹೈಡ್ರಾ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಬಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್. ಹೈಡ್ರಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಡ್ಡಿಂಗೇ ಆಗೋದು. ಹೈಡ್ರಾ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್, ಹೈಡ್ರಾ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಒಂದು ಹೈಡ್ರಾ ಕಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಎರಡು ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅ ಟು ನ್ಯೂ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್? ಮತ್ತೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ವಿಲ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬಹುದು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.